Come hear the tale tonight of scrolls and shining crystals, of magic and of bite. Two hosts with bells ringing, their voices warm and bold. Tanja and Marcel lead the feast of stories to be told. Hey, Ray, SharePoint away, lift your cups, the wizards play. AI dances, fonts take flight, designs are glowing through the night. Then enters wise Ami, a diamond in his name, a wizard of the SharePoint with sparks of golden flame. 18 spells in minutes, the slides go whoosh and fly, brand new forms and layouts that sparkle to the sky. Hey, Ray, SharePoint away, hosts and wizards, hear them say. Copilot's weaving, timeline spin, the magic of collab begins. Bring forth your questions, ye apprentices and mages, for answers shall be written on these digital pages. Hey, Ray, global voices join to play. Raise your scrolls, the time is near. The SharePoint future's here. Hey, global voices join to play. Raise your scrolls, the time is near. The SharePoint future's here.
Hello and a warm welcome to our M365 show. Our today hosts are me and the beautiful Tanja and our guest Amy Diamond. So we want to talk today about 18 months that changed SharePoint, and I think we have a really cool agenda. But first, I want to introduce myself. I'm Marcel Broschk. I'm a director consulting expert for CGI. I'm working there for topics regarding about the topics about SharePoint, Teams, governance topics, and the Power Platform. Yeah, and I will hand it over to you, Tanja.
Thank you so much, Marcel. I'm glad to be here and a little bit surprised by that song. I'm a little bit hyped also. Awesome song, by the way. My name is Tanja Wiehoff. I'm from Germany. I'm a M365 Copilot MVP since 2 months. I have a video series here in Germany that's called the Copilot Prompters, where I give tips and tricks on how to use Copilot. I'm originally from Austria and I love SharePoint. I always say that SharePoint is my living room and Copilot is my dance floor. So I also love to combine that. And I will hand over to Amy, but I guess, Amy, you don't have to introduce yourself because I'm sure everyone knows you, but please introduce yourself.
I was sure no one knows me. And my name is Amy Diamond. I'm from Israel, and I'm a Microsoft 365 adoption lead in a company called CloudEdge, which is a partner of Microsoft. I'm a MVP for the 3rd year in SharePoint and in Teams, hopefully in Copilot next year. And also I have a YouTube channel called SharePoint where I share. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a great honor, and I'm looking forward to discuss all of the tech that we have here.
Yeah, it sounds really, really interesting. So I want to give a short overview about which topics we want to talk today. So the first part would be flexible sections. I think a really cool new SharePoint feature. The new SharePoint list forms, the FAQ web part, and I think there will be a lot of discussion on this topic. And the creating of pages with Copilot, an interesting point, I think, and the digital card web part. And at the end, we have an Q&A and some call to action from our side, but important for us. So we will pick up 5 questions. So if there are more, we write something in the chat. So not be sad if we could answer every questions, but we will try our best. So Tanja, I will hand it over to you regarding to the next section.
Perfect. Let's start with the first segment of this session. The first area we will talk about, and I really like that because it gives a lot of functionality, a lot of new features and possibilities to editors in SharePoint Online, actually. So a different solution. We will talk about the flexible sections. Ami, can you show us how the new flexible sections work, what they are all about, what the hype is all about? So what new features do we get with flexible sections? Why am I hyped, actually?
Yeah. Okay. I'll be honored to do that. So let me share my screen. Just give me a slight feedback if you can see my screen.
Mhm.
Yes. Can you see?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can
looks
see
good.
it. Awesome.
Okay. So this is actually what I did was created a new site, a communication site. As you know, we can have either a team site or a communication site. And I used the template of the learning, and this is how it looks, and it's quite cool. But up until now, we were stuck in some kind of a structured section of a page. And let's see how we can use the flexible section and what it means. I'll also show you some examples. So what I'll do, I'll go to new and I will click page. And look what I found here. First of all, this is another feature that actually Microsoft provided is ready-made pages. As you can see, some FAQ, some topics. All of these are also using this flexible section, but it actually gives. You don't need to start from scratch. You can choose one of those, and even if you choose this, you can see what the page is providing, which is really looks really good. So if I show you one of these, look how it looks. So you don't need to be, and you don't need to have any knowledge. All you do is click create a page, and you can use one of the templates. This is one of the uh, cool stuff. But in my case, I actually want to create a blank page. So I chose a blank page. Now, as you can see, I can put in the header, I could put an image and give a title, and then I have sections. Now, within the sections, if I go, I have the possibility to have one column, 2 columns, or 3, and for each one, I could add all kinds of web parts. Now, the flexible section came in, and when I create a new section, I can choose, in addition to these 1 or 2 or 3, I can choose a flexible section. That means that actually what I can do is that I can, I'm not grounded to some columns. I can put all of the web parts, start to move them around, and actually the SharePoint won't look like SharePoint. This is the idea. So first thing I will do, you can see I can play with the way if it's will be more wide or longer than others. So this is one thing. And now actually I could add actually some web parts. So let's add, for instance, image. I will choose, let's say, a picture of a person. And this guy I like very much. And what you will see here, it's now here. And what I can do is actually move it around and set it as I want. Now, in addition to this, I could take this and maybe change the frame, maybe make it like this. So it looks very interesting. So I will go. And the interesting thing is, it seems like you can add the web parts only from this area. which is a bit different from what we had. But I will continue fast, and let's add another image. Okay. This lady is also very cool, and this time we will also adjust this to be maybe this way. And as you saw, I can move and do. And what's cool is actually that I can even put one picture above each other. And as you can see, even I could decide if to bring the picture in front or backwards. So let's bring this to the side. Now what I can do is maybe to add some text. So I added the text web part, and let's say call this a Copilot team. And yeah, I could actually use Copilot to use it. Maybe I will choose a different font and maybe make it larger. So as you can see now, I have this uh, text, I have images, and you can maybe last thing I will do, I will take the look for the link. Let's look for the quick link, and now I can add this quick link web part. Maybe I'll make it, as you can see, this way, and now I could actually add the links and icons, and it's now actually just I can play around and be very creative. Now I want to show you that it's also possible. By the way, you can define here how you want it to show in the mobile device, if to show it top to bottom or
Mhm.
left. You can define if it will be a collapsible section, and you could maybe put a background to all of this. So in this case, I could choose from one of these, or I can maybe upload something which is cool. Let's say the sky, and look, it's starting not to
Awesome.
look like SharePoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing is actually if you want to know if you want to be creative, actually, what you can do is it offers possibilities. Let me see. I should have here, you see here, there's all kinds of section templates. So if I don't know what to use, I could actually maybe use one of these. I want to see more. So let me show you some of my favorite ones. Yeah, this is one of my favorite. So you see it adds here images, text boxes, pictures, and yeah, there's actually here an article that shows how Microsoft shows how to do it. And yeah, there's also a video that explains how to do it. But it's very easy. All you need to do is to do that. Here's another example I did. And I think from this point, maybe we will go back and maybe discuss if you have any questions.
One
What do
question
you
is, do
think
you
about
know
this, Tanya?
do you know any limitations? I saw nearly all web paths was possible to choose. Do you know some limitations or heard about it regarding something to
Um,
use?
I heard that some people think it's not as easy to use, maybe by dragging, and some people have ideas to improve it. I'm
Mhm.
not sure how it works on mobile, even though you can set it, but some people had some issues that said that maybe it should be improved, but it's a first phase, so it will be improved. I don't know about accessibility, by the way, but actually there's one of the tabs there gives you some kind of a rating how the accessibility is. If you notice, like I can just share it. I think it's important. No, I don't know how much
Yeah.
people use it, but it would be so. This one, you see, we have here the toolbox, the properties. It gives some
Are you sharing
ideas.
your screen, or is I
Oh,
think you have
sorry.
to share the
I
screen
think
again?
I am. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sharing.
yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. There it
So
is.
we have the toolbar, and then where the web parts are, we have the section, this properties. We have the design ideas, which gives us all kinds of ideas, and here we have the accessibility, and here it gives some rating about how the accessibility is. Um, yeah, actually, there was some kind of a competition that Microsoft did that people were needed to submit, their great ideas how to use AI and how to use SharePoint in the best way. And I saw some cool ideas. So yeah,
I
I think
actually have some critics on that red part, if I'm allowed to say something like that. Maybe you can forward it to the product team. So when you're using the SharePoint sites that have flexible sections on your mobile device and you use a lot of design elements, just like a bubble or PNGs, you uploaded some icons, then of course you can choose the direction the flexible section is using that items, but I would want it to label it as just a design element and not showing it in a mobile version. Because if you add a cloud or something like that, something funny, just to design your SharePoint site, you can also see it in the mobile version. Then you see every image below each other. It's a little bit annoying, to be honest. So I would like to
I
label
don't know
that
how
stuff.
many. To be honest, I don't know how many use the mobile for portals. Okay, a portal is meant to be more in a computer. Teams can be in a mobile,
Yeah.
maybe a list, but pages. I don't know if it supports it, but I don't know if most people will use it. But you're right. You're right. It's always a matter of improving, and it
Yeah.
should say maybe if it's mobile, then show it the normal way and not the
Yeah. I have a lot of
A lot of
customers
tests are
that use.
necessary.
Yeah, you're right. And I have a lot of customers that work in the production area, and they have frontline workers that are using Viva Connections on their mobile devices. And then, of course, they read the news. So they use it on their mobile device. And that's why I just came up with that idea to label that. Yeah.
Good idea. Good idea.
Okay, let's go to the next section, right, Marcel?
Yeah, so the next topic is the SharePoint list becomes new forms. So, and let us talk about this new form styling and the possibilities we now have.
Okay, so I'm sharing again, and hopefully it will bring me back. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, not now. I think someone at the back of the in the back end has to turn it on. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, great. I'm just saving this page. And so we're back to this communication site. And what I can do is actually to create a list. Now, I can create a list through the new and click a list. Or there's now an option to click list forms. I will show you the classical way because I want you to see how it works. So as I open this, I can decide if to create a list or a form, if to import from Excel, CSV, or from my existing site. And I can use these templates that Microsoft provides, and even a template if the company has launched that. So maybe I'll try and take this template. You can see the preview the issue tracker, but I could start from scratch. I'll call this issue tracker V2 because I have an existing one. And as you see, it already provides all of the columns, but obviously I can create a new column, choose the type, and then it can be used. Now, assuming you know what a list is, the new functionality is that here on the ribbon or on the menu, I can now have this forms. And by the way, it might even be available in future also in a document library. But yeah, that's just a good idea. So I can create here actually a form. Now the idea is for one single list, I can create different forms and send it out to different people. Now what happens is in the background, it actually gives access to the whole organization to fill out the form. But after they submit the form, they will not go back to this list. So it reminds very similar to a Microsoft Forms form, including some logics, and I will show you how it is. But the idea is that you can have multiple forms, each one differently, and only the list owner or the site owner or the members can see it. Everyone else will not be able to see the results. Okay, so this is one thing. So I can give the form a name. Let's call it, yeah, Copilot list. Yeah. And I can give a description. I could even add an image. Yeah. And these are the fields actually that exist in the list. But from here, I can actually add a new, totally new list column. Okay. I can even decide what I want that will exist in the form or not. So by creating a new column, I can do from here, and maybe I will add a text column that will be more info. You will understand later what I mean. And I can move it maybe to this area. I can also move it from here. What I can do is actually also customize the background, which looks much nicer. And I can choose here maybe the background and the theme, and also some settings here to be notified when somebody fills out the form, if to accept response, or you can turn it off. And also you can define start and end date. It really reminds the Microsoft Forms. The idea is that once you would create a Microsoft Forms, and you would need automation to move it to the list. Now everything is within the list, so you don't need to do any automation. So this is what we have here. So a cool feature that we have here is actually, if I move here to this icon, is the branching, which reminds also the Microsoft Forms. And what I can say is, let's say I want the priority. If it's priority, which is critical and high, I want actually that it will give, ask the user for more information. So I can go here and say, if it's critical, go to more information. If it's high, go to more information. And if it's normal, I'll just tell it to go to the end, or just go to status. Okay. So now we have this, and we can maybe preview it. So I can, as you can see, this is how it's going to look. I will type in the issue and description. Interesting, it opens like that. Priority. And yeah, because I chose critical, it opened up this column with more information. But if I would choose low, it will skip and go directly. So this is how it looks. But actually, yeah, I will go here. And now I will actually send the form. That means I can copy it and send it to anyone that is in the same company. And now you will see the experience of any user. Hopefully in future it will be possible to not give access to the whole organization and limit it, but currently this is the situation. And as you can see here, I can describe actually or put the information. And when I submit it, I don't get back to the list. So only people that are owners or created the list or members of this um, team site or communication site will have access. I can resubmit. By the way, there should be also a setting that says you can submit only once. Um, and as I said, actually, the idea is that for the same form, I can have for the same list. By the way, let's refresh it because you see now the information that's been provided. And I can create a different form. One could be for, let's say, the first level support. One should be for the managers, or it can be different. Instead of doing some complex things, now you can do it in this way. It also looks very nice. And by the way, here I can also, define. They no longer can fill out the form. So if I don't accept, it will not be possible to fill it out. You will see inactive. Here I can actually duplicate it, start accepting information, and I can copy and send it, and also delete. So this is very powerful and reminds the Microsoft Forms, and yeah, it's getting better each time.
So, Tanja, do you want first? I have two questions.
You can go first.
Okay.
Maybe you have to sing.
So, first question. So, it looks a little bit like the old SharePoint style governance by hiding. So that means you fill out an SharePoint form and you did fall back to the list, but the user needs a permission on the list to write in, or?
Well, as it is now, once you create a new form, everyone in an organization has access to fill out the form, but he doesn't have access to the data that is stored afterwards. Okay, so by default, it's just like you say in Microsoft Forms, everyone in the organization has access. So think of if somebody needs to fill out, I don't know, expense, or if something which is wide organization level, and anyway you would give access. Okay, I think in future you can restrict it and say give to, but here you don't need to manage permissions. By default, all organization has access, and those that manage the list will see the results, and they can do further things. So,
okay, it's fine for me. And the second question is the old way regarding to change and list form with Power Apps is still possible or not?
You can still work with Microsoft with List and integrate a Power Apps. It's separately. It doesn't it's a separate thing which is in addition to what was existing. So if you had instead of when you would click new, it would open up a Power Apps in the background, you can still do that. But Power Apps is, a bit more advanced for end users.
Yeah.
If they can just click and do a couple of things without doing anything, just like Microsoft Forms, you don't need to learn. You can choose a type of a column if it's a choice, if it's a date or something, and it looks better. And the idea is you don't need to manage permissions. and that the results are not accessible. Just if I don't know if you're familiar, there's a cool feature which is request files. It's in OneDrive and also in SharePoint, where you send somebody, you open a folder and you say, this is the link, and send it to somebody, and they can drop it there, and they don't see afterwards where the file goes, but eventually it just is stored in SharePoint or in OneDrive. It even adds the prefix of the user's name in the name of the file. But that's also a cool thing. But yeah, I think it makes the form looks much nicer. You know, if you could, if you ask me a question, what I would like to improve in Microsoft List, you can use JSON to change the design and do all kinds of things. If JSON could be also applied there, that would be cool, because you could put a picture in as a background, or you could maybe change the things. I wish it would happen.
There's a Japanese MVP. I didn't know when his name.
Yeah, Tetsuya Kawahara or something like that.
Yeah, yes. He makes amazing posts about this column formatting. It's really, really cool. We put in the link into the notes.
There's another. There's several. There's Federico from Italy, and there's also one that I don't remember. He does demonstrations usually with on the Microsoft show. He usually uses a site with horses. I don't know. It's an example. Do you know this guy? No?
No, actually not.
Anyway, he does.
No.
Yeah. But the idea is, yeah, JSON. I really don't know JSON at all, but the PNP site has lots of things that you can just pick and copy and paste without knowing what it does, and it does amazing things. So I think if JSON could be applied, or some customization of the form, it could make it even cooler.
You actually already answered my question by talking about the topic, because I wanted to ask you where's the difference between the classic forms we still have them in lists and the new forms experience. And actually, I think that's the most important part, right? You can inject JSON or use CSS or Power Automate to customize your forms, right? So this is the difference.
Yeah, I wish this new forms could be also accessible for external users or anonymously. That could be totally great, because one of the limitations of Microsoft Forms is you cannot add an attachment. Only internally you can add a column of attachment. Here you can do it internally to add an attachment, but if they could add an attachment, or set even without attachment to this Microsoft Forms externally. I know in Power Pages it's possible to do such a thing. Then it's through the interface. But if this thing could be accessible to anyone, and people could fill out some request or something without having a M365 account, that could be cool.
Yeah, that's true. Should we go to the next cool stuff that's new in SharePoint? Yeah. Okay, so let's go to my favorite topic. It's I'm a Copilot MVP, so it's the FAQ Webpart. That's powered by AI, right? You want to show it to us?
EIEIO. Yeah, you know EIEIO? AIAIO.
Yeah.
Okay, oh McDonald's. Here we are. So let's close this and let's go back to this site. And we're talking about the FAQ. So what I'll do is actually I'll create a blank page, really blank. And what I'll do here, I will add a look for the web part. And as you see here under AI category, we have two web parts. One is the agent link, which is also a possibility to take the link of a SharePoint agent and to add it. But we'll talk about this FAQ preview. So I add this, and now I can start. On the right, I have some things I can set up. First thing is if I want to use a source. So I will add here a document which is called Strategy Adoption for Copilot for large organizations. I can actually probably add multiple ones. I can even add maybe some meetings. And now I can choose the purpose. So it's not that clear exactly what each one is, but I usually use this policy one because it's more fits to all. As you can see, it's human resource, information technologies, compliance. The others is for a product or for an event, and the general is too general. But let me, you know what? This is actually a product, so we will use it. And the last thing is I can give some like instructions. So I can, for instance, say maybe instead of 10 topics, give me 5 topics or 2 topics. But the idea is you can give just like an agent, you can give some instructions. In this case, let's leave it as it is. And I can decide if to show it in mobile and emails. Let's start. So first thing will happen is actually it will go to the document and create major categories. So it's the highest level where we can actually it summarize everything and tries to categorize it by categories. As you can see, I can add by myself. What I can also do is change here the text. I can move it around. Maybe this should be second. I can delete. I can move it around, maybe edit it and do what I want. So we're here now in the first level, the highest level. But now beneath that, we can generate. By the way, I can exit this and stop. But now I can, beneath this, create questions. So the AI is now should create questions. As you can see, it's starting to run. So we have the category of leadership, and then we have here some questions. I can add a new question. I can edit the question. I can delete it. I can move it up or move to a different category. And I can slice and dice as you can see here. So listen, if you needed to do this by yourself, either you would go to Copilot and ask it to create your FAQ and then copy and paste, but here it creates like the hierarchy, okay? You can see we have this plus or chevron that we have here. So we have a category, we have a question, and for each question we need an answer. So I can click to generate an answer. Now it should do something. Let's see. Okay. As you can see now, it's creating for this category a question and an answer. So I always tell people, never trust the AI. It's good. You can, but always go and check it. Don't blind believe it. It could be right, but always give your personal aspect and check that everything is correct. Because the AI is not going to replace you, it's going to help you. So it's still generating the questions, and we're nearly there. and once it's ready, I can accept. Now I noticed, oops, AI could not generate a question. This is interesting. But I can keep it. And as you can see now, I'm free to add questions, maybe to move them, to change it. Now, even the text web part has the possibility to use Copilot. So I can ask to make it shorter or professional, or to write it from the scratch, or to auto-write it. So we're not fixed with what it's written. We can totally change it. Maybe I can convert it to a table, but we can also get the assistant of the Copilot within the text web part. And one cool feature is actually, if I go here, you will see that I can also choose, instead of this chevron icon, to a plus or minus. And hopefully, I think there's some missing features. If we could change it a bit or do some additional things, it could be things to improve. But it's a good start, and I really like it. So let me give a name and publish it, and let's see how it looks. So this is how it looks. I mean, if you could save the way FAQ, maybe it's open, collapsed, or open. If you could do additional things, that's something that. But look, and because it's SharePoint and it's in a section, you can define that this section might be a collapsible section. So I could go here to the section and say the section is actually, I can make it a collapsible section, if it will work.
It doesn't want to right now.
Something is, here we are.
Yeah.
So I can give the name to the section, and I can define if maybe it's a bit too fast. I did not want to use this, but I wanted to go to the sections. No, I want to go to the sections. That's should work. I should open this, and then I can define if the section itself is collapsible or expand. So if I do this, for instance, and let's publish it, then you see by default, yeah, it's like collapsed, and then you can open it. I did not give a name here, but the great tip I can give is use the instructions of this. Yeah, here we are, FAQ. So here you can give very detailed information. Maybe I want less categories. Maybe I want to tell you not to make things up, all kinds of things. So this is a very important thing that people maybe sometimes miss. So with that, I will stop sharing, and we can ready for questions.
I have a question.
Tanja
I'm
first.
sorry, Marcel.
Tanja first. I would say Tanja first.
What is the licensing behind that web part?
The idea is to create, you need a Copilot license. To consume after it's created, you don't need a license. So it's just, once it's ready, it's just like a text web parts and structure. But for end user that has just a regular M365, you don't need a Copilot $30 license. So to create, yes. To view, not.
Okay. And the second question is also concerning Copilot. Is Copilot able to read through that content, through the FAQs? So is Copilot able to use that as knowledge source again?
I think yes. I think the only thing it cannot do, Copilot, and is to search in lists. Maybe agent can do that, but if you just from the Copilot chat, I think list is not possible. But I know, hopefully, it will. I know in Copilot, Studio, it's possible already to connect the resource or knowledge base to a list. I think besides list, the Copilot can read. Um, so as you can see, it's also even in the web part of the text web part, you can use the Copilot to um,
Yeah.
rewrite and things. So it it's a beginning, but it's a good start.
Yeah, you're right.
So I have, I didn't know it's a technical question. So if you have a customer who said, "Oh, I have Confluence, I want to migrate," and we can put everything into Word, what we have in Confluence. Do you think it's a way to migrate from Confluence to FAQ?
Wait.
To
Confluence is a system,
Wiki
okay?
related,
Just like
yes, Wiki
SharePoint,
related.
okay?
Yeah.
So document, if you move the document from one resource, I guess Confluence has some kind of a library that
Yeah.
they have, and you move it to a document library in SharePoint.
Yeah.
The FAQ web part lives in a page, a SharePoint page.
Yeah,
Okay,
more to
so
the
it's
Wiki
not
related part. So
it's like a wiki, yeah, but
yeah,
it's a page that has SharePoint page has web parts where you can, it's like a text web part, a list web part, a picture. So the page presents all kinds of wikis or things that present, and one of them is the FAQ. So it has
so I
no
think so
relation between a document.
yeah, but what I see here is the other the part before was I must be recreate every site, and now I have a possibility to recreate regarding on if I export it, the part to documents directly from the document, and this speed up is a little bit because I can restructure it with only migrating content to documents. And I think this could be a little bit a game changer to migrations. So that was my mind thinking here. If I see that, that's what's really cool.
Yeah, one is document management, and the pages are something that don't exist in a maybe there's pages or some feature in Confluence that is like a page, but
Yeah.
I don't think they need to recreate it from scratch, either manually or maybe use this reference to a document and create it. Uh, but and we will see that we can also create pages through the AI besides the web part FAQ,
Yeah.
which will
And
make
this is possible now too with Graph. This is really cool. But so I think the time is running out and we have so much other topics. Let us move to our next section, creating pages with Copilot. Amy,
Yeah.
I hand it directly to you.
yeah. So again, I'm sharing, and we will go back to this. So we're back to this great site, which is a demo site for learning, and we'll go to the new. By the way, you need to have at least member rights to do that, and you can even create an agent. But instead of creating a page, we will use this page with Copilot preview. Now here is what we get is we can actually type here some kind of a prompt. What we can also do, I just want to go back and show it again. So here you have some templates which you can choose. They different between if it's a news post or page. So you can go to each one of these and actually, just like we know in Copilot, we have some template and we can create a meeting newsletter. And here we can type in some text or choose from this. And then maybe reference to some kind of a document that we want. We will see how it looks here as a preview. Additionally, what we can do is, before we create the page, we can define the tone of the voice. If it will be creative or professional. We can define also the length, if it will be short or medium or long. And let's demonstrate actually a real scenario. I choose this and I will go to pages, and maybe I don't want to use none of these things. So I will just write create a page of Copilot adoption in Microsoft. Oops. Yeah. And by the way, I have here some examples which I can use. And let's reference maybe this document of strategy for adoption. I could add several. Let's say that it's professional and medium. I can define if to make it a private draft. No, I want to do it directly. Don't know why it's going to news post, but I want to make it a page. The difference between a page and a news post is a news post, it shows up in the news web part, and a page. A news post is also a page, but it's a very specific one for the news web part. The page is just a page. So I wrote here, the more information I write, it will give more specific things. But I have here now this document, and I will click on play. And now it will start to do the magic. So it's choosing a layout for the page, and then it will start creating maybe a header, a title section, and then it will create some sections. Okay, this is really cool. Okay. And here's a text web part. And it's drafting, as you can see, some vision, leadership, sponsors, and adoption, 3 out of 8. So what it's doing in general, it's adding some text, images, and other web parts, which actually take the information that I have in the document and present it in a way that the AI thinks is best looking. Now, I know in future it will also be possible that you will be able to choose a new section and ask AI to create a whole section, which includes all of the things. I think it's not yet released, but as you can see, it's 8 out of 8, so we're nearly there. And yeah, we will finally accept that it's here. Hopefully it will add some images. I don't see it added some images. I can keep it, and I could publish it. And this actually, generated by itself based on the content I provided, the thing. And now I can continue and edit it and do the tweaking or using specific AI to edit this content.
I have a question. Choose this existing page templates for this. I didn't see if you created. Was there a possibility to say, bring us in my existing page template layout?
You can save a page as a template, your own template, and then you can just create the page using the template you created.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, is this so? Let's just show this. It might be so. This page was created. Okay. If I do share, okay, let's just edit again and do a change. I will have the possibility. Okay, here. There should be some possibility to save it as a template, and then you can use the template. Instead of choosing from the Microsoft templates, you can generate your own templates. Let's
Behind the
see.
promote
Okay.
section, right?
Here, you see, I clicked on promote, and I did save this page as a template, and now I should save it as a template. And now when I create a new page, hopefully I can use the template. So you see it's split between saved on this site, which is this is what I saved as a template. These are the Microsoft new ones. By the way, this was removed for some reason and it was just added today. So for some people it will not be possible, but really these things are something that I would start with these even. This is much better than even what the AI created. I can start with this and then adjust it. So there's lots of ideas for creativity and thinking.
Okay. I don't have the question actually, just have a hint or maybe a discussion point, because about a little bit about expectation when Copilot is creating new pages. So I always have the feeling that people are expecting a fully created perfect page, but I really like that Copilot is just delivering something for me so that I can save time. I would never just publish something and not read it before and not, I don't know, transform it a bit before, design it or add personal images. But we save a lot of time, I would say, by using Copilot to create pages. So for example, if you have a policy in your company, HR policy, IT policy, and it's a Word document, just use that and Copilot is creating the page for you, and then you can add your stuff into that. So you save a lot of time. I think it's really important to always talk a little bit about expectations.
Yeah. Yes, I think when I train Copilot, there's always what's called a syndrome of the empty page. And what the AI does, it creates you it gives you ideas. You start just like a presentation. You don't know where to start, but if you it gives you some ideas and then you can go on. But sometimes the starting point is the hardest. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Absolute. So, but let us move to our last section with the editorial card Webpart.
Okay, so we'll do this quite fast too, because some people don't have all of the time in the world. Let's go back. So let's create a new page by new, and actually we'll create a new page, empty page. And as you know, what I will do, I will go here and this time maybe go to the section and I will split it into 3 columns. And now here we can add all kinds of stuff. So if I click on the plus, I will search for the editorial card, and this is how it looks. Notice on the right, we have 3 layouts. The overlay, color block, and split. So I can switch it also here. So this is how the overlay Webpart looks. Here I can add some text and some description. I can define the button. I'll show you how it is in the block. So it looks a bit different if you compare this and this. Let's create one of each, and then we can demonstrate. So I will copy a copy of this to here, and I will copy again this. So we have example for each one of the ideas. So I will start here, And what I can do is actually click here and see the settings. As you can see, I can add some image. So let's start to add some images. And yeah, I'm sick and tired of all of the pictures which are there. But so we see here now so a picture that we added. We can decide to align the text, as you can see. And there's a cool stuff that some of the web parts, there's an animation. So when you load the page, it like moves up. So that's something that you can notice. You can also adjust this background, but it now kicked out. Okay, so here we have it, added it, and here let's say, welcome to each. And by the way, it's just like a text web part, so you can choose the type of the font, and you can type also choose maybe the size of it, and you could do many things here, spacing and all kinds of things. Here in the settings, as you can see, you can check the opacity, okay? And you can define what to show and what not to show. You can choose the type of the button. So instead of a button, it can be an icon. You could add a link. So let's just copy this link here and say click here. And you will see that it should add also the link behind. So this is how it looks. I mean, I'm not a designer, and this I'll show you in a second some cool things that actually designer did. But this was the overlay. Let's change to the color block, and maybe here we will choose another picture. The idea is to present something very nicely in something that is not like we had up until now. So look, we have the picture in the background, and we could say come to the event, and let's make it bigger, and maybe this way. Here I can put a description, put a link, and it really depends how, because I put this in 3 sections, then it will look differently a bit when I put it in one section. So let's say if I choose a section which is one column, and I drag this web part down here, you will see that actually it looks not bad at all. So, and let's go back to the next one, and this time we will choose the split. So you can see there's the picture on top and the text on bottom. Let's change the image, and we'll put something very creative. And I'm not a designer, so I'm more technical, but here we will say Copilot AI. And what I can do is add also here some text. And yeah, what I can do is actually in the settings also to define the background. So the background would affect the bottom part. And this is according to the style guide or according to the color theme of this site. So I could choose from those. So as in the summary, we have 3 layouts that we can change. We could add images and text. And what I want to show you, this is examples of Microsoft by designers, hopefully, and look how it looks here. This thing and this thing, and here I see actually the same web parts. The fonts look, very nice. So here's some examples for destinations, and there's very creative things. Maybe you need to have some artistical or creative, but these are examples are really cool. If you want, we can add this in the show notes. But there's lots of potential. Here's an example by Microsoft, how they present by the product team that give some examples, but this is how it looks at the end. And yeah, you should try it out.
Looks really good. A little bit like call to action 0.2. Okay,
Yeah,
the time is running out. Let us come to the question section. Sorry, but I think so. We're running out of time. And I think we take 2 questions.
I have
Sorry.
time. I have time, so it's okay. Don't. I can stay as
Okay.
much as needed.
So, okay, I will write. So, is where hi, where are guests allowed to submit the answer in the form? So it's regarding to the form Webpart, list form Webpart.
Yeah. Currently, it's only. Oh, you mean guest? That's a good question. I think it's my logical guess is only people that belong to the tenant will be able to fill it out. But I haven't checked it. This is my feeling. I think externals will not have this, but I will need to check that.
That
Because
means
most
known
permissions
guest
are
user.
everyone. Most permissions that are public is everyone except external. So usually
Yeah.
that's the setting, but maybe in the future. Yeah. It's
There's just a hint
internally.
there's a hint in the copy link section that says people in my tenant, in Wiehoff tenant, with the link can respond. So I think that's exactly what we're able to do, just people in the tenant, right? But sometimes guests are also in the tenant, right? So
Yeah,
depends.
exactly. So I'm not sure. What I can check is it creates some permission. So it's possible to check what permission is set there, and based on that, I could give a feedback. But it's a good question. Thanks for asking. I like being challenged.
And the next question from Isabel: could I set column value depending on other column?
Could you set
means,
column value depending? I think in Microsoft List it's not possible as well. You can set a default and you can define if to show or not to show, but I think Microsoft List currently, I don't think it supports that. I might be wrong, but for the first thought, I think it's not possible.
It sounds a
but
little
again,
bit like a lookup column. Or if you
maybe. But I think what she's thinking of is like a cascaded thing, which you can do in Power Apps, right? Can that be her thinking that if you choose, let's say, a country, you will get only countries, only cities within. So it's like a cascaded thing. I think in Power Apps it's supported. I'm not. I think it's not supported in Microsoft List. At least in the new forms, it's not possible. That's for sure.
Okay. Okay. So we shorten this.
One thing is maybe a calculated column can be the solution. I don't know if calculated column, because what calculated column does is you say you refer to a different column and say but no, maybe a calculated column, but not sure.
Okay. Yeah. Any final final notes from your side? regarding to today's talk. So did we missing something important, Amy?
I think I had the real honor and pleasure to speak to you, to share my knowledge, and to get your feedback. I think it's a great show. I recommend everyone to join the future shows and maybe previous shows. I think I'm so happy to get to meet you, maybe virtually, and hopefully to collaborate in future. And really thanks for inviting me, because I feel like we connected, and it's fun. I'm doing it for fun, and the whole concept of mine is sharing is caring, and pay it forward. And this is, I think, for anyone in the Microsoft community, and especially as MVPs, we really do it out of passion and love and liking technology. So thank you.
Yeah, we thank you. Tanja, last famous words.
No, I feel really honored to be the host, the co-host of the show, and to ask you all the questions. I mean, because you are really, how can I say it? You are pushing me forward since 5 years, since I started using SharePoint. I always read your blog posts and all that stuff. So that was actually what was bringing me a little bit into the SharePoint field. So, and what was helping me to get better. So it was a really great honor to me. And I loved, Amy, that we just saw the templates again today. Because we had to cut them out, and now they are again here, right? So that's awesome.
It's not available for all tenants, but at least for some, it's rolling out again, and that's something that will save lots of time. There's also instead of page templates, there's also site templates where you can do it, or during the site then you can just choose and say, I want a template for something like that. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I wish everyone a great weekend.
Yeah, the last word from my side. The next show is on the 4th of September, and Lukas Pavelka and Anastasia will join us and will show us some amazing stuff in Power Platform regarding to Figma, Power App designing, and YAML export. And it would be amazing if you turn on the station again. And have a nice day, and see you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
People, come hear the tale tonight of scrolls and shining crystals, of magic and of bite. Two hosts with bells ringing, their voices warm and bold. Tanja and Marcel lead the feast of stories to be told. Hey, Ray, SharePoint away, lift your cups, the wizards play. AI dances, fonts take flight, designs are glowing through the night. A diamond in his name, a wizard of the SharePoint with sparks of golden flame. 18 spells in minutes, the slides go whoosh and fly. Brand new forms and layouts that sparkle to the sky. Hey, Ray, SharePoint away, hosts and wizards, hear them say. Copilot's weaving, timeline spin, the magic of collab begins. Bring forth your questions, ye apprentices and mages, for answers shall be written on these digital pages. Hey, Ray, give all day.